loose in Deadwood, everybody. Are you ready to see the pros hit the track? Here we go. They'll blast off the line. Pat Note on the far outside. In the middle, that looks like it is going to be one of the all-finished concrete sleds. That's going to be Daniel Benham. He's won here before. He's going to slot into the number 3 spot, and Cody Cam is going to grab the race lead.
Great start for the number 53 of Cody Cam, and like Erica was saying during opening ceremony, he's a guy with 2 wins here. He knows what it takes to be successful in downtown historic Deadwood. As you can see, all bunched up. Battle going on for the lead. That's between, or for second, excuse me, that's between Oscar Norm and Hunter Patnode. And
Kyle Pauline right in there. He is eating a big face full of roost there as he has Benham come up alongside. Now Patnode working to the outside of Oscar Norm as they drop down off the Amsoil finish line right into that hard left-hand hairpin.
It is a very quick turnaround hairpin turn. They're going to stay bunched up here. I am willing to bet that's typically what happens on this track. And we're seeing number 40, Oscar Norm, try to slip it on the inside there of the number 8 skidoo sled of Hunter Patnode. He's going to try to make something happen here on the next lap.
Oh, and he tried to knife to the inside. Patnode able to hold him off, and Benham right there almost rear-ended Oscar Norm. That's how tight and close things get here in Deadwood. And here comes Senor Smiley. Kyle Pauline trying to run around. He'll take the inside. That outside lane hasn't quite developed the speed yet. Well, and Pauline getting a little twisted in the air, and that's going to allow Benham to move past.
And Oscar Norm, another guy who knows how to go fast and make it work here in Deadwood. Where were we 1 year ago? Oscar Norm came away with a 2nd place finish, and Cody Cam also a podium finisher in 2021 at this track. So the Henches Racing's Polaris sleds historically have been dialed here in Deadwood.
So Cam leads from Patnode, followed by Norm, Benham, and Pauline is your top 5. Then it's Coutu, Muller, Philip Haar, and Imohar, unfortunately, did not make the start here in this qualifier. We're watching Hunter Patnode now in second, only a little over a second back right now from race leader Cody Cam, doing work here as he heads down through the U.S. Air Force Flyway and to the Amsoil finish line.
Hunter Patnode in 2022 has been our top qualifier of the season, has 9 qualifier wins to his credit. His teammate Logan Christian has 6, so the Shooting Speed Sports skidoo sleds have been so strong, especially earlier on in the night, but really throughout the evening as well. Multiple podium finishes for Hunter Patnode, who's still currently 2nd in this one.
Patnode dropping back down here into the FXR turn. Working his way out of it now, heads towards the skidoo rhythm section here on the backstretch, and here comes Daniel Benham. Benham trying to put a move here, possibly on Oscar Norm for 3rd. He'll try to jump to the inside, and he crowded him up to the top of the berm. Benham makes the move.
And we're seeing these all-finished concrete Arctic Cat sleds really come alive here this season. First couple of rounds were working out the bugs, but Daniel Benham, a race winner in round 3, and Jacob Burek was on the podium. He's been on the podium 2 times this season. So these Arctic Cats, they're getting it figured out. And of course, like you said, Paul, a proven winner, the 221.
Yeah, the Arctic Cat sleds seem to like the rougher stuff, and well, this is tailor-made for him here tonight in Deadwood, as now Benham closing in on Hunter Patnode. Patnode had designs on maybe chasing after the leader, and now he's got to switch over, play some defense, because Benham's coming hot.
You're never going to get enough breathing room on a track like this, so just under a second between these two, but we are on the final lap, and this one might go to 53.
Yep, Cody Cam will go ahead and grab the victory here. Wow, look at how close that was at the line. Benham by 4/100ths of a second pimps Patnode for the number 2 spot, followed by Kyle Pauline and Oscar Norm. Then it's Cole Coutu, Travis Muller, and Philip Haar rounding out the field. So kudos to Cody Cam picking up the win here in this first qualifier. And let's see, he's going to pull down here into the tech area.
What a great finish. We'll see if we can catch a word. We'll keep you updated, but that's the racing we come to know and love about Deadwood, South Dakota.
You can see some snowflakes starting to develop in the air here. Temperatures were actually in the upper 40s to near 50s earlier today. Now it's snowing. Gotta love it. Let's go down to Josie with our qualifier number 1 winner.
unfortunately don't have our winner down here right now, but talking about that last round, we're running between 20 to 23 second lap time, so these laps are going by very, very fast. When we go into that final, that 10 minutes plus 2 laps, there's going to be a lot going on going into the final. We got a brutal track, man-made snow. It's packed tightly, and I have our winner right here with me. Getting so excited about your win, almost forgot to come over here. Getting that qualifying win is obviously really huge and gives you motivation going into tonight, but you said earlier the track is going to be fun and it's going to be brutal out there. So what was your thoughts after that first qualifying round?
Good, I got a great start, and yeah, I just rode my own race. The track is super smooth and pretty boring to me out there, so looking forward to later in the night when the track actually gets rough and we can have some good racing.
Well, good qualifying round and good luck the rest of the night.
And if you looked really closely there over what would be Cody Cam's right eye, you could see how the goggles were already starting to film over and everything from all of that roost.
I get a kick out of Cody Cam saying that the track's pretty boring for him out there. It surely isn't for us fans and those of you watching at home as well. Cody Cam, Mr. Excitement, he always seems to bring the heat. He's not afraid to get physical when he needs to. That's going to come in handy again later tonight.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those elbows up kind of places. This would compare to, if you were a NASCAR fan, this would be Bristol or Martinsville.
Yes, most definitely. I'd even go so far as to compare it to, in ways, the LA Coliseum a few weeks ago. Such a tight full ring.
Yes,
You couldn't
yes,
get away from 'em.
absolutely, yes. Yeah, and we saw you were definitely elbows up there. All right, second qualifier getting ready to stage up here at the starting line. Logan Christian will be in this one, along with our point leader, the Viking Rocket, Elias Ischel. Adam Peterson will be on board in this one, along with Trent Whitwer. We'll have Travis Kern, along with Jacob Yerk, teammate to Daniel Benham. Emil Hart actually scheduled for this qualifying round, as well as Francis Peltier on the number 220 Makita Baja Jerky sled.
So, Logan Christian, number 43 Shearing Speed Sports Skidoo, U.S. Air Force backed machine. Let's talk more about him. Erica Alderete said it in opening ceremonies. 5 podiums. His average finish in the finals is the best of the field. It's 5.5. He has been the most consistent here. That's very hard to do. Cody Cam, he has 2 wins here, but where he has struggled a little bit is he has won one night, and the results have been vastly different maybe that next night on some years. He's also been injured a couple years in there. The only 2 riders to have raced every single one of the races here in Deadwood are Logan Christian and Kyle Pauline. And Logan Christian, you know, it's hard to believe a guy who has a resume such as his, he's been racing as long as he has, he's still chasing that first win. And that is my prediction this year, is I think we're going to see it this year on the Skidoo machine, and he loves coming to this place. So if anyone's going to channel some of that magic here in Deadwood, I don't know, I think it might be him. We'll see how he does, but look at these guys checking out the track, a few pro light riders,
Nick
sport
Lorenz
riders.
right there, kind of having a little confab with some of the other riders. Yep, there you go. Thumbs up. All right, so they are getting the pipes warmed up. We're ready for this round 1 Heat 2 qualifier here for Amsoil Pro competition here at the U.S. Air Force Snocross National. Here they're cackling like funny cars on the line here.
Yeah, visibility very tricky from our perspective up here in the booth, and for you fans as well.
And it's fittingly appropriate that since we're in the Wild West, we got the old school land rush start coming at you, straight on. Let's see who can grab the whole shot. Well, thought Hart had it, but it looks like it's Peltier busting out here. And now we're going 4 wide as we go blasting down toward the Polaris and Arctic Cat corners. And on the inside, looks like that might be Trent Whitwer.
Beautiful start for the 115 Woody's Racing Arctic Cat machine. He struggled a little bit this season, came out with a great start in the opening rounds at Canterbury Park, but we're seeing a rider try to sneak around the inside here.
Now we're looking from overhead. That's Travis Kern on the 201, who has jumped into second and kind of throws a little hip check there at Logan Christian. Here comes Emil Har. He's going to try to blast his way up the inside as they come back over the Amsoil finish line and go slamming into each other. Har gets a little crossed up, and that's going to hold up everybody behind him for a moment here.
Yeah, the line's very tricky to find, especially to find one with breathing room. And the rest of your teammates, as you can see, they're all taking that inside line. Seems to be the fastest, but heavy traffic. Bar-to-bar racing, that's number 31, Emil Har and Logan Christian as they cross the Amsoil finish.
And Har trying to carve off the inside, shuts it down, and he is able to get ahead of Logan. That'll move him up into the looks like third position behind Travis Kern and Trent Whitwer. And Whitwer is gapped out by about 4 or 5 sled lengths here over Travis Kern.
Elias Ischel tucked way back in the pack in 6th in this qualifier. It's the 201 in second place right now. He was a winner in the Pro Light division 1 year ago. Another rider who seems to take a liking to this course. He may not love it, but he provides the results here as well as the entire K2 Motorsports operation.
And there goes Ischel. He's going to make the move, cranking on the inside. Wow, Yerk almost slammed into Logan Christian's sled as they make their way back down the straightaway here toward the Amsoil finish line jump. And now Logan trying to come back on Ischel as they work off that very tight FXR corner. So now the Viking Rocket finds himself up in the number 4 position. Meanwhile, here's a battle for second and third. Travis Kern being caught by Emil Har as they work their way past the skidoo section and over that Amsoil finish line jump.
And both riders with something to prove out here. Travis Kern, one of our pro rookies, really looking to make a name for himself in the Amsoil Pro class. And Emil Har was the model of consistency in the first few races of the season. Haven't seen him on the podium in a minute, but the speed has been there. So he took some time away from racing and training a couple days ago. So he's fired up. He's feeling fast this weekend.
And Har tried to short jump the Amsoil finish line, and kind of Campbell bumped off the back of it there. The back of the sled kind of bounced up and caught him in the backside, and he's able to ride out of it. He's going to take that outside lane. Not too many really able to make that outside lane work just yet. Oh, Kern gets crossed up. That could be Emil Har's opportunity to pounce. He'll try to go outside in perhaps here. Coming off the FXR turn, setting up the move.
All the moisture we're seeing out there, you're seeing it on our drone lens there, but we see the number 31 able to get around here, and we see them switch up their lines this time around. Where that outside line is really going to come in handy is when you see a battle shaping up just in front of you. May want to take that outside line in hopes that the riders in front of you get connected. You're able to capitalize on that, but the 200 red plate carrier of Elias Ischel is on the move. Makes the pass. He
got by Travis. Travis had a little mistake there in the FXR turn. So they'll come to the Amsoil finish line in the checkered flag here. Trent Whitwer will grab the qualifier win. Emil Har not too far behind in second. Ischel comes from 7th to 3rd in this one, followed by Kern in 4th and Francis Peltier in 5th. Then it's Adam Peterson, Jacob Yerk, and Logan Christian completing the field as we wrap up round 1 of pro qualifying here tonight in Deadwood. We're going to take a timeout while the groomers do a little cleanup work. When we come back, it'll be round 2 pro line action coming at you from the U.S. Air Force Snocross National in Deadwood on Flow Racing.
Freedom. It's what we're built on. What we live for. What we run on. Run with us. Run Interceptor in your new model year sled, and we'll back you with our Runs on Freedom limited warranty. Learn more and order at amsoil.com.
Coming over to me, all cheerful, all excited, coming back, Trent Whitwer, getting that qualifying win. Obviously, that had to feel good. Talk about the track conditions as we're going into the night.
Honestly, the track's pretty good. I like how everything is deep and technical, and it really fits my riding style. Should be a good night.
And going into it, you have this motivation boost. What's that like?
Yeah, this year hasn't been very good at all. It's either the sled's good or I'm not good. Hasn't been meshing, very frustrating. But it's time to get my ass to gear. We have 4 rounds to get this done.
Oh, excited to see you up here. Good luck the rest of the night.
Nice work by Trent Whitwer to pick up the win as we set the table now for second round Pro Light qualifying. And in the field for this one, we're going to have Anson Scheel on the all-finish concrete Arctic Cat, Cameron Anderson on the MBRP Power Sports Skidoo, Marcus Ogumar on the Thien Motorsports Skidoo, Dylan Rose on the Minnesota Truck Headquarters and FXR D&D Arctic Cat. Kenny Mandrick was scheduled to be in the field, but he unfortunately is going to be a scratch tonight. He would have been on the number 61 Polaris. And Evan Christian on that Polaris Fly Racing WPS Walker Evans Racing sled. That's the red one there. So Ogumar lined up to the left side of your screen. Then you have Christian. In the middle is where Anson Scheel is going to come from. And then you have the 12 of Rose and to the far outside, the 12 of Anderson and then Rose to the outside. All right, tonight's Amsoil trivia question. Oh, this is a good one. So roughly how many zip ties does the ops crew go through during any given event? Is this like counting the amount of jelly beans in the jar?
It is. I can tell you that, strangely enough, despite the size of the track, the number of zip ties is actually pretty consistent between each event. So I'll give you a hint. We go through a lot of them. That's pretty vague, but it gives you something to work with. So let us know on Twitter how many zip ties you think the ops team goes through on any given race weekend. And if you don't know who we're talking about, you're like, what's going on? What's the slate talking about? Ops team, they're the ones that set up all the branding, signage, you name it on the track. So much more.
All right, about ready to go under starters orders to kick off round 2 of Pro Light action here at the U.S. Air Force Snocross National. Glad you could join us, not only here at the Days of 76 Event Center, but wherever you may be watching from on Flow Racing. Thank you for letting us into your homes and man caves and garages to bring you a little snowcross action here at Amsoil Championship Snowcross style. So here comes round 2 Pro Light action coming at you as they blast through. Evan Christian will grab the early lead. Ogumar going to the outside, Anderson to the inside. So Christian will lead coming off the corner, and Anson Scheel will come up alongside Ogumar in a battle for second.
And it's really great to see the number 12 Anderson Racing Skidoo rider Cameron Anderson out in the field. We suspected it might have been a knee injury earlier this season. Wasn't really sure. Sat out for a couple of rounds, but he's back. But setting the pace of this field, this is number 33, Evan Christian. You can't say enough about him. He is your 3rd overall best qualifier in the Pro Light class. The guy is on fire this season, and it's his rookie year. But check this guy out. Big save it appeared for the number 58 of Marcus Ogumar.
Yeah, Ogumar gassed it pretty hard through the section there leading up to the Amsoil finish line jump as the transition onto what is the backstretch here at Deadwood. Down into the Polaris Arctic Cat corners, kind of a little bit of a double apex there depending on how you cut it. Right now Christian is cut through it pretty good here as he will lead to complete the next lap.
Yeah, he's looking smooth, and the difference right now, distance-wise, between him and Marcus Ogumar is 1.9 seconds. So that's one of the biggest margins we've seen so far this evening in the few qualifying rounds we have. Because again, this is a track you can never have enough breathing room, because even if you do, you're in lap traffic.
And Evans staying far to the inside. Earlier today, the outside lane on the straightaway leading up to the Amsoil finish line was quicker. Now it looks like that inside lane is developing. But of course, as we go through the evening, and especially when we get into the finals, when we have 8 minutes or 10 minutes, depending on whether it's pro or pro light, the track is really going to chew up, and they're going to be hunting and fishing to look for the best lines.
And this track is tricky for just about everyone, no doubt. Survival of the fittest. Marcus Ogumar has talked about how he really likes the big stadium tracks, the ski hill tracks, something more common back home in Sweden and other courses on the tour. So this one definitely providing its challenges, but that hasn't stopped him from showing commendable speeds as he looks to try and close that gap on the number 33.
And you can see him bounding his way through the rough stuff there as he continues to chase after your race leader, Evan Christian. Anson Scheel sitting back in 3rd, followed by Cameron Anderson and Dylan Rose. They'll work their way into the U.S. Air Force flyaway down into the Polaris turn.
Just a couple laps to go, and Mark Zogamar shaved off a half of a second. The distance between him and Evan Christian continues to try and reel him in, but Anson Shields, another one of those all-finished concrete sleds, has been on the podium, has had this upward progression here towards the midway point of the season and beyond, so he's been bad quick. We'll see what he can do in the final, but top 5 as it stands: Christian, Ogamar, Shield, Anderson, and Rose.
Well, and I don't know if you saw there that Ogamar kind of had to shake his head to clear his goggles there a little bit as he got a full blast of roost as they come to the checkered flag. Evan Christian will pick up the win to open up round 2 of Pro Light qualifying. Ogamar will finish in second. We'll have Anson Shield across the line for third, followed by Cameron Anderson and Dylan Rose, who will complete the top 5. All right, we get ready for our second round, second heat of Pro Light. Corbin Anderson in the field for this one on the MBRP Power Sports Skidoo. Also in there, Teo Poirier on the Kraychek Racing Premier of Iowa Arctic Cat. Nick Lorenz on the Hemmer Motorsports FXR Racing and Studboy sled. Bailey Forst on the Fratellone Company's Mystic and Stillwater Motors Polaris. Tori Gustafson on the NMC Exterior Remodeling Arctic Cat. Evan Doubt, teammate to Evan Christian, on the Polaris Fly Racing WPS, a Walker Evans Racing sled. And finally, the man who has been pretty much dominant in this Pro Light category, Jordan LaBelle on the Makita Skidoo Baja Jerky FBB parts machine.
He may have been off of the podium in round 8, but that did not stop him from holding on to a commanding lead in the Pro Light class, but it's far from over. Plenty of racing left to go, and the guy who's right there was the winner one round ago, the 572 of Nick Lorenz you see on the far right-hand side of your screen. Both Nick Lorenz and Jordan LaBelle, your 2 best qualifiers. If we're talking averages, Nicholas Lorenz is your best qualifier on average here in the Pro Light class, and just behind him, Jordan LaBelle, and like we talked about in the last qualifier, Evan Christian.
There you see Jordan kind of tamping down the snow there a little bit. Wants to make sure that not only his skis are good and level, but that the whole sled is, in general, front to back, is going to be pretty level on the takeoff, because the last thing you want to do is take off with your sled cocked one way or the other, towards the left or towards the right, because that'll just pitch you right into the guy next to you.
Jordan LaBelle is making his first career Pro Light appearance in Deadwood. Last time he was here was in the sport class. Last season he was injured, but he still came out to the event to watch and cheer on his teammate at the time, Elias Ischuel. So making his Pro Light debut, he did earlier this afternoon in the round 1 qualifier.
And there's Tori Gustafson lined up over there, getting ready to go on the Arctic Cat machine. Middle of the frame there is the 17 of Corbin Anderson. Back out here, you get a look at the full field, ready to go. And you can see that the snow has actually turned into a little bit of a wet snow, maybe mixed with a little bit of rain.
Yeah, it's a lot of moisture. It's pretty messy out there, but surprisingly, like these riders have talked about, that it is not terribly sketchy yet at this point, at least not for the few that we have spoken to. So track's holding up as well as it can, but that does not mean it's going to be a cakewalk for any of these riders. We're seeing Corbin Anderson pull up to the line next to the 5'11" Jordan LaBelle.
And you can see his mechanic down there pushing that back into that sled down and bury that track in the snow for maximum traction on launch. So we're just about ready to go under starter's orders. Nope, wait a minute. Looks like Lorenz now is going to cycle back out and around. Now you can do that once the starter starts pointing across and you're under starter's orders. If you move, we call that premature acceleration. You're invited to the back row.
Yeah, no can do.
There's a great shot there. You can see that raw fuel burning out of the bottom of the sled there.
And where the Studboy hole shot is officially marked, it's the start of the Skidoo section, so keep an eye out.
And here we go. Pro Light heat number 2. Everybody looking for some elbow room now as they head toward the Amsoil finish line jump. Evan Doubt breaking out here, and he's going to lead into the Polaris turn. LaBelle gets pushed up on top of the berm, but recovers, trying to hang on to the third spot, but he's got, looks like Poirier trying to come to his outside as we complete lap number 1. It's Doubt, Forst, and LaBelle is your top 3. Now LaBelle gets past fast here as there is a big traffic jam in the middle of the pack.
Wow, and we thought this stud boy hole shot was going to go to Bailey Force, but it's set very far onto that front stretch, so I believe we'll have to take a look back, but that's going to be the 413 of Evan Dowd taking that stud boy hole shot, but Corbin Anderson is putting the charge down on the 511.
And here comes LaBelle now that things have kind of settled a little bit. He's into the back end of Tori Gustafson, and here comes Anderson. Well, they could have bumped hips there for a second coming out of that FXR turn. LaBelle trying to sneak his way up on the inside of Anderson, going into the corner. Not going to be able to get him just yet.
Not yet. And we had seen those two riders taking that inside line. Nick Lorenz did what we had talked about, just a couple of races to go. Looks to that outside to avoid the traffic jam, taking that inside line. Jordan LaBelle has to correct. Try to take that inside line. It's working. He makes a pass, just about seals the deal as they head into the Polaris corner.
So that's going to move him ahead of Gustafson as they come charging out of the corner. Back down here through the Skidoo section over the Amsoil finish line jump. So that moves LaBelle to fourth, Anderson third, Bailey Force still in second. Your leader is still Evan Dowd, out by about 2.5 seconds at the front of the pack.
Evan Dowd putting together a great run and quite the lead over Bailey Force. A great run for Evan Dowd so far. Taking a look at how many qualifiers Evan has came away with this year, 2 qualifier wins prior to today. Right now, this battle continues to burn forward. This is number 17 of Corbin Anderson again, and Jordan LaBelle. The battle of the Skidoos heading down the backstretch.
Yeah, this is a race for the 3rd and 4th position here at the moment. And LaBelle going to try that outside to see if he can get something cooking here. Anderson hopping through the rough stuff, maintains the advantage, so that inside lane, still the preferred lane, looks like on both sides of the track. LaBelle trying to carve tight to the inside, but it is so hard to get the power down coming out of that corner because you're so tight, and immediately you're into a jump, so you're coming out literally going uphill.
And it's so hard to find good flow on this track, and just listening to the sleds, and then you can really hear it with the snow bikes too, just trying to find good smooth rhythm. But if you ride snowmobiles and you have ridden your sled on the rough trails, compare it to this, you're really feeling that arm pump, maybe even in these qualifiers, but especially in the main event tonight. Jordan LaBelle taking that outside line.
And here comes Evan Dowd. He is going to cruise home for the win in this second heat of Pro Light. Bailey Force in for second. LaBelle got Anderson coming off the final corner and down the straightaway to grab third. So Anderson will have to settle for a fourth. Gustafson will come away with a fifth. Lorenz, a little bit of a disappointing round here, finishing in sixth. And then Poirier as well, kind of having a disappointing round as he winds up in the 7th position. And that'll set the table for our final Pro Light qualifier of the evening. Hey, don't forget to check out the Dennis Kirk sled build that is going on. DennisKirk.com/sled build. You can rate the builds, or if you're working on one, well, heck, submit it. You got a chance to win stuff.
Sled build is one of my favorite elements of the winter. Let us know. We cannot wait to see what you're working on all winter long. We may even get you featured on Sledhead 24/7 at the end of the season when we pick our winners. So we look forward to that every season.
And here's something we always look forward to at each round of Amsoil Championship Snocross, the Polaris Watch Party photos. Whether you're here on the grounds, whether you're watching in your man cave, in your living room, bedroom, wherever you happen to be watching, snap a pic. Send it to us on Twitter at Snocross and hashtag a Polaris Watch Party like these folks.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at a few of our submissions from the last round in Salamanca, New York. A packed house and a rowdy crowd. Some fans tuned in this weekend out on the ice.
Yeah, doing a little fishing and a little watching. And we found Waldo.
We found him. There were quite a few characters in the crowd a couple weekends ago. Thank you guys for always bearing the elements with us. It's cold. You guys are hardy. We appreciate you.
And there's some folks posed next to Francis Peltier's sled in the pits.
Love that. Love it when our fans get to make their way back to the pits and hang out.
Look at the big smiles.
More family and friends. Snocross really is a family affair. We love seeing families.
He's got his grr face going on. Grr.
I wouldn't want to line up next to him on the track.
And again, you can send us your photos at Snocross on Twitter, hashtag Polaris Watch Party. We'll feature them throughout our Flow Racing broadcasts of Amsoil Championship Snocross throughout the course of the 2022 season. All right, so our competitors for this final heat in Pro Light round number 2 getting assembled. You'll notice, maybe if you were paying attention, you might have caught this. Normally we have a green light system that we use, but we're in the Wild West. We're kicking it old school. We busted out the green flag, baby.
I didn't even notice that from our angle. It's hard to see, but yeah, changing it up just a little bit.
And there's Taylor Cole. Going to cycle around here. Of course, our next stop will be in Taylor Cole's backyard. That'll be next weekend when we go to ERX Motor Park. Place that we know well as an all-season facility because for us it's Amsoil Championship Snocross in the winter, and then you go over to the off-road side for Amsoil Championship Off-Road in the summer.
We do. There's so many events going on year-round at that place. Love it. Can't wait to be back.
By the way, I got a peek at the track layout for next week. Ace.
It's going to be good, no doubt about it.
No spoilers, though. And here we go on our way. The final Pro Light qualifier of the evening. Good launch for Cody Flack on the number 39. Adam Levy almost sketches out alongside of him. And he's going to have to settle in behind Cody, and coming around on the outside, here comes Matt Lamorier on the number 711, the Shearing Speed Sport U.S. Air Force sled. And you see the yellow flag waving, so somebody unfortunately had an incident. As the rest of the pack cycles out of the FXR turn, Cole a little bit further back in the field, and now it is Adam Levy's race. And man, that thing is bucking like a Bronco. Oh, and he's over the berm in the Polaris Arctic Cat corner. Riley Bester trying to make him pay.
Wow, great move by the 151 Riley Bester. There's where bar to bar going across the Amsoil finish line. 2 riders taking the inside line. Now battle for second.
That's Robert Lundeen on the number 77 machine, trying to get himself in there. He is on one of those Green Mountain racing sleds, trying to bound his way to the inside lane.
He was a qualifier winner just a few weeks ago at Seneca Allegheny Resort and Casino for the other U.S. Air Force Snocross National, his first of the season. Other riders in this field to have a Pro Light qualifier win is Riley Bester, who has 3 of them, and Taylor Cole with 1 of them.
We can see how deep the holes are getting here between the jumps. When they land, when the snow is wet, it just kind of splashes out, quite literally, because there's standing water in a lot of places around the racetrack from where we had melt during the day today when we had some sunshine in the first part of the day.
Yeah, it really cooled off, and I think that really saved us with the cooling temperatures, helped preserve the track just a little bit more, and we're expecting great snowcross weather tomorrow that will help preserve the track, and we'll even get some natural snow, a few inches in the mix, but this one continues to, we're seeing Taylor Cole continue to force the issue.
Yeah, this is a great battle now behind Riley Bester. He's taken up by about 3.5 seconds. Holy cow! Taylor Cole, I think, was trying to jump into North Dakota there for a second off the Amsoil finish line. He overjumped and went to the outside, just trying something different, but it didn't quite work for him.
And Riley Bester is checking out 3.6 second lead over Adam Levy, the 712.
So Cole, this time, he's going to cut inside as Levy continues to hold on to second. Lundeen is third. And you see what happened with Cole there. Up, a little bobble for Lundeen. That might be Cole's opportunity to pounce on the inside here. And yep, he's going to get him coming out of the corner. So that'll move Taylor Cole up into the number 3 spot.
We're on the final lap as your race leader Riley Bester makes his way around. This one might be all him.
Now Riley way out in front. He has made his way down through the Arctic Cat and Polaris corners. He is to the Amsoil finish line. So we'll wrap up round 2 Pro Light qualifying with Bester getting the win. Adam Levy, great ride for Adam on that FXR Ski-Doo Spectro and CNA Pro Ski sponsored ride to finish in second, followed by Cole in third, then Lundeen, Uman, Cody Flack, Matt Lamorier completing the field, and that completes our Pro Light qualifying. When we come back, it's time for the FXR Sport Riders to take center stage of what should be a super competitive final. Plus, we have one of our new favorites, the high-low game, coming up. Don't go anywhere.